Jay Wilson, 23-12 for 15th overall. Great job for being Eli Tomac's replacement. I know that's your favorite headline of the week, but yeah, you destroyed a bike on the first one.
Yeah, definitely did. I apologize to the Star guys because, yeah, they've been very accommodating. You know, our goals are a little bit different coming to these races now compared to what they would have been maybe 3 years ago for myself. But yeah, first turn crash in the first moto, I was at the bottom of a pile up. So I destroyed a bike, and I apologize to those guys because they had a lot of work after that first moto.
Second moto, though, we got to see a little more what you were capable of. You ran inside the top 10. I think you ran as high as like an 8th, 9th for a while. Then you were sitting in 10th for quite a bit of moto. It's a little bit anchored down with the 12th, but still. Saw you're capable of, especially, we were talking this morning, there was talk, oh, you've been here this week testing. You were helping the 250 team. Yeah, we threw on Eli's bike with your bars. You never rode that bike till this morning.
No, we were trying things all day, experimenting, and just trying to grab as much data and information as possible. Like I said, my expectations are a little bit different these days, and my goal is to try support Yamaha America, Japan, and also Europe, and try gain as much information as much knowledge as possible, so that we can create a championship winning bike and continue to develop into the future.
Real man of the company.
What's that?
Real man of the company.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with Yamaha for 11 years now. You know, my goals have changed a little bit these days. You know, after Ironman, I fly back to Japan, and I go straight back to a test the day that I land. So, yeah, it's cool. It's been a fun time here in Unadilla, but overall, besides the results, I still learn a lot today, and my personal goals, not just race results, were, yeah, I achieved those. You know, we learn a lot about the bike. I jumped on that bike this morning, and in racing conditions, it's the best way to test. I'm learning as much as possible. Most guys probably jump on and they don't think anything of the bike, but I'm trying to register as much as possible with what's going on with the motorcycle, and while trying to put in somewhat of a decent result. But yeah, no, it's overall been really good. The team's been accommodating. I've got my wife and daughter out here, and we're trying to make a bit of a trip, a work trip, I guess, with the family.
Really cool one I saw when you pulled off from your first moto. Maybe it was either your first or second moto. I watched you grab the headset from Jensen, who's the 250 team manager, and you were relaying a bunch of info. Again, the 250 guys were in the championship hunt. Ultimately didn't go Haynes' way today for that, but you were still immediately on the radio giving them feedback on the track, giving those guys some heads up on some cool things.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little bit hard for me to sort of accept that, I guess, because I don't know, I really haven't delivered the results that I thought that I could have during my career, but these guys are trusting me and putting a lot of trust in me at the moment, and yeah, they're asking me a lot of questions, and it's quite rewarding for the work that I've put in, but also it's real. It's like a little bit of a shock to the system that they put that trust in me, and they're asking me a lot of questions. So yeah, it's been a cool experience, and I'm trying to pass on as much information with the motorcycle, but even riding, you know, like yeah, that first moto, I was just sort of cruising around by the end of it, and trying to take in the track and what I could pass on to the 250 guys. It's a little bit disappointing about the results today, but yeah, we'll turn up next round, and we'll continue to do our best and try to keep this thing alive.
Even though compared to a lot of the guys out here, you sort of have multiple roles when you're out there racing. Back to the racer in you, these last two rounds, what would be a personal goal that you would leave happy with between Buds and Ironman that you would like to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, that second moto was pretty good. You know, I thought if everything went well, that was sort of going to be me. You know, if it's better, then great. But I think around that 10th position there, that's ideal. I think I could do better, but obviously I need time, and it's not my goal. That's not the goal of this trip anymore. You know, like, yeah, it's ideal if I can get a decent result, but I look at it for the future, and I want to be. I would like to be here one day developing motorcycles for race teams, and like I've said to many people now, is if I can't win the championship personally myself, I want to be a part of winning that championship and developing that bike for the championship rider. So I feel like we're doing our part in that, and we'll keep chipping away. If I can be around that 10th position, if I can sneak inside the top 10, great. Obviously, I faded pretty bad in the end of that second moto. I just had nothing left, and but I think I sort of let a top 10 slip away there. But we'll keep chipping away. We'll see how it goes, and we'll continue to improve the motorcycle this week and learn some more information.
So you had mentioned the guys asking a lot of questions. You also had a big input on something else today. A big project for you last year was the Yamaha EPS, Electronic Power Steering System. Justin Cooper raced with it today. Massa came over with you, which I'm stoked. I haven't seen that guy in quite a few years. I used to work with him at Enzo back in the day. So he was over kind of babysitting it. You were over giving Justin feedback because you raced and developed that system last year. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Yamaha publicly announced that project, which is really cool. So you were very involved with it. Can you give us a background of what it's like to ride?
Yeah, I mean, my whole Japanese program it stemmed from the EPS development side of things. They wanted to go racing with it, and Yamaha has been very open about the project that they're working on there. Everyone can go check that out on the Yamaha Motors website and just type in electronic power steering or EPS on Yamaha Motors, and there's a complete write-up on what the device is, and it's quite cool technology. I think the motorcycle industry's been at a little bit of a stall for a little bit, with new technology, and I think this is it's got a bright future ahead of it, definitely. It's not just your typical stabilizer. It's power steering. So it's a lot of people think, it's just the stabilizer. It's more than a stabilizer, and I hope that we can show this to the public, can actually use this soon. But right now it's still in development stages, and we're using with Justin to try to learn some more information here in America. I raced with it last year in Japan, and we're still racing with it this year in Japan. But right now we're still trying to learn as much information and knowledge on this as possible, and the best way to do that is in racing scenarios. So it supports with us high-speed stability. I think overall it'll create a safer rider and a safer motorcycle in the future.
Now my interest is, I imagine normal steering damper is more of a hydraulic system like suspension, so it is sensitive to bar speed. However, the little bit I've read up on this thing, you do have sensitivity in the system, I think, that is based off the force applied to the bars, but also, correct me if I'm wrong, it picks up the speed of the bike as well, correct, in a way?
Yeah, I mean, this is past my sort of, I'm no engineer or technician, so I've got a lot of smart guys that deal with this, and I'm just pretty much relaying information back to them on my rider input and what I'm feeling on the track. I sort of leave the data side to them, but they're tracking the data on every time I'm riding this thing, and if I've got a comment, they can go back through and track it all and see what's going on. So it supports with traction in the cornering. It creates a safer motorcycle, and I think for that intermediate beginner rider, I think this is a very, I would say, a bright future for the beginner intermediate rider, but also not only that is like high performance rider in the future. I think this can be a very big impact to the motorcycle industry, and you don't go buy a car these days without power steering. It's just not even a thought that runs through somebody's mind. So I'm not sure exactly where we're at with production side of stuff, or what the plan is with that. That's out of my pay grade, but right now we're still learning a lot, and we're in development stages right now.
Cool. Thank you, sir.